Recently, you have probably seen me posting about a program called Switch On. And Switch On is all about moving the culture of your team, your business, or your organization from compliance to commitment. So it is that focus on safety and safety leadership and personal responsibility. The Switch On program is grounded in some key assumptions that underpin the whole workshop experience. And these assumptions shape how any of the participants who come into this program actually experience it and how they engage with the content, how they reflect on their own behaviour, and also ultimately how they switch on to safety. And by addressing these assumptions directly, Switch On creates that space in the workshop for participants to really reflect on their own safety behaviour, but also the safety culture of their organisation. And these foundational beliefs, these assumptions, really help us to have impactful discussions throughout the workshop. It helps participants to have self-awareness, and also to then develop practical changes that they can take back to their teams. So those assumptions that we go into the workshop are: no one comes to work to get hurt. And I think that's a pretty common assumption that most people would have. However, people perceive that they are as safe as they need to be to get the job done. And sometimes what may happen is that people may take shortcuts, or they won't follow the procedure exactly, or they'll overlook those safety measures that are in place for the work that they're doing, because they may feel that they're pressured to get the task done. And this is where Switch On will encourage participants, to challenge that mindset and shift towards making safety just non-negotiable in anything that they're doing. However, we know people make mistakes. That is one of our other assumptions that we're going to Switch On with. And mistakes are inevitable. Things happen. We are human. But it's how we respond to those mistakes that's critical. And Switch On promotes the culture where we learn from these things rather than assign blame. And this then becomes, the foundations for continuous improvement and also enhancing our safety behaviours. Then there is that gap between actually knowing safety and actually getting it. Many of us know that we should do, or stay safe. But we don't always follow through on that. Like we've said, we might take those little shortcuts. We might do things that we know really aren't safe. And that's where we bridge that gap and we really make safety personal. It's about connecting, what we do as people and the things that we care about most through one of the most impactful exercises or activities in the program, our top 4, that really switch us from, we know about safety, but we actually get it and we practice it. Then there's that other assumption we have about not believing what you actually think, because our brain will justify just about any action or inaction. And that's when we will rationalize and justify our behavior, including when we do take those shortcuts, which may be unsafe. And we know that there's a risk, but we still do it anyway. And so we go into looking at why that justification occurs, and we encourage our participants to challenge those justifications, because we want to focus on making choices that, prioritize safety rather than, the shorter thing. Then there's the other element of the assumption that we are who we hang out with. We are influenced by those people that we spend time with. And when you think about it, we spend a lot of time with the people that we work with. So our safety behaviour is shaped by the culture of the workplace. And when we all share that responsibility of safety, it becomes embodied in everything that we do, all of our actions. And so Switch On helps us understand our attitudes and our behaviours and how we can influence those around us and encourage them to be safe and accountable, and also ourselves. So they're the assumptions that Switch On is built on and that impact participants in a positive way when they attend these challenging and thought-provoking programs. And I'll leave you with a question around that. When you think about those things, are they the sorts of things that might be keeping you awake at night, might be worrying you about what may be going on when you're not around? What is happening with safety in your organisation? Is this something, a question that needs to be answered?